Greetings, rockers and metalheads. I've got a vinyl update for you. I had a few items come in the last 2 weeks. Package came in this morning that I'm really excited about. Got that set for the last two to share out. I've been seeing a few other folks from not just here in the States, but I believe over in Europe that have been receiving packages of said band, and so I won't be the first one to be showing them, but nonetheless, I'm excited, and we'll get through these others so I can get to those two last ones. First one I want to share is a Both Outstrider. No, this is not new. I believe this is his second release, and he's got a third one that came out this past year. Got this one from a online source, good price. I believe this one was released in 2019, and this is the gold variant. Appears to be a solid gold, not a translucent. I'm not a huge black metal fan, but I've always appreciated Immortal. I've got a few of their, I guess, better known albums. Not the early Cult. I don't have their first three, but some of their later stuff. So, know what to expect with that. Next up, another Amorphous. I know I've been sharing out quite a few of these recently. This is one that I've not had, but I've heard a few songs from it. I know what to expect. Great band, great album. This was recently released through Atomic Fire, which is, I believe, a pretty new company out of Germany. This was originally released on Nuclear Blast, and this variant, I don't think there's any other, for this press, I don't believe there's any other variants. This one is, they call it a orange with black marble. It almost has more of a copper look to it. I can't say that I've got another record variant that looks like that one, so that is unique to my collection. Love that band. Everything I've heard from them, thumbs up, good stuff. This next band is one that I'm not really familiar with. They've been around for a while. I forgot to look up when their first album came out, but I believe it was in the mid-90s. Somehow they've kind of slipped by. This is Skepticism, and this particular album is Companion. It is their most recent, released on Svart Records, 2021. Probably the reason why I'm not familiar with them is because they are a funeral doom band. And not that that's a bad thing. It's just I've not really ventured into funeral doom. I'm a big doom metal fan, traditional doom, and maybe the closest thing to funeral doom that I own would be Disembowelment out of Australia. But even these guys, I think they were considered more doom death. So I don't know. If I like this, I will certainly give the band some more attention, try and track down some of their earlier releases, and maybe venture into some other bands that have a similar sound. This pressing happens to be a black. I know that it was pressed in one other color. Next up, a death metal band that has been around for quite a while. Just never got, I guess I never really came across their stuff in stores, and wasn't until more recent that I picked up one of their records, and then they re-released on Back on Black 2 of their albums, Slaughter the Week and Warzone. I did not get both of them, but Slaughter the Week, which is their second full-length album, I picked this one up. This was originally released in 1997. So once again, they've been around for a while. This one is on a clear vinyl. I believe that's the only variant for this particular press. And then the other one is Warzone, and I'll probably try and grab that one too before they disappear. I believe these were released, both of them 2,000 copies. So don't want to sit on that too long. And one thing I wanted to share out about Jungle Rot, even though I'm just now starting to get into their music, I had actually first come across them in an SOD magazine. A lot of bands I was introduced to through this, death metal, black metal, and then even some traditional metal. They would do reviews of bands from the 80s and 90s. And in this particular issue, right there is a review for Jungle Rot's first demo, which was titled Rip Off Your Face. Thought that was interesting. And then one of their maybe future issue, a few issues after this, they had released Skin the Living, which was a demo from '95, and never did the cassette demo trades. But I was aware of the band, and I should have looked into them earlier. Definitely balls to the walls, kind of death metal, like Cannibal Corpse, maybe not as gory. Definitely the war theme playing throughout most of their albums. Another one that I picked up online recently is, gotta look up the name on this one, Kill on Command. And this was record store release in 2014 on Victory Records, but the album was originally released on CD in 2011. This is their 7th album. This one's a solid red. Trying to get it without the shadow. Usually most of their albums are about 30 minutes, about half hour. So all killer, no filler. And next up, a band that I have been following since their Luminous Eyes EP on vinyl. I think I picked that one up on CD also. And that is Trevor Church's band Haunt. I've gotten just about everything that he has released through this band. I was lucky enough to see them on their fall tour last year, caught them in Nashville in September, and it was awesome being able to hear their music live for the first time, hopefully not the last time. And this is one of their, this is their newest studio work. Trevor kicks out records at an unprecedented amount. And he comes out with at least one or two, sometimes 1, 2, 3 full lengths or EPs per year, and there's usually lots of variants. So I was able to get the yellow translucent with the green splatter for this one, and love Haunt, just great traditional heavy metal. And that leaves me with my 2 new most recent purchases, ones that were pre-ordered maybe about 2 months ago. And this is a band that I believe I was also introduced to through the SOD magazine. Should have known about this band, but once again, in my record store days where I would just pick up albums based on album covers, I don't think I ever came across this in a record store, especially the second album that I'm going to show, because if I had seen it, I know I would have gotten it. The album cover, well, let me get to that one in a moment. Let's start off with the first. The band is Demolition Hammer, and this is their first full-length, Tortured Experience. And this is a re-release on Century Media Records. This is a 2023 release. Like I said, just pre-ordered a few months ago. And this was originally released in 1990. And I believe there's a European variant and the American variant. And here in the States, we've got a slightly translucent blue. And probably not my first pick for color choice. It doesn't quite match with the cover other than the hype sticker, but I don't care. It's just great to have this and not have to spend $100 on it. So great thrash band. And then, of course, at this point, you probably know what I'm about to show. The next one, yes, had I seen this in the stores, I would have picked it up, because the album cover is by a fantastic artist, Michael Wayland. And I think I was first introduced to Michael Wayland through a book that I got at my high school library. It was a H.P. Lovecraft best of book. The title was Blood-Curdling Tales of Horror and the Macabre. And it was this artwork, which also shows up on obituary, cause of death, and also album cover from the band The Mist out of Brazil. And just fantastic artwork. Actually, in one of my future videos, I'm probably going to do like maybe a top 5 favorite heavy metal artwork artists, and just kind of do a focus on my favorite 5. I've been thinking about that, so we'll get to that sometime in the future. But in the meantime, also re-released. These have been tough to get. There's been some re-releases. I think some of them were maybe just out of Europe. It's been a number of years since this and the other Demolition Hammer album has been released. This is Epidemic of Violence, and just beautiful, horrific, horror-drawn album cover by, once again, Michael Wayland. And so this was originally released in 1992, and the color variant for the US press is a translucent yellow. Once again, doesn't quite match the color scheme of the album cover, but works. At least they matched it up with the hype sticker. They did that on purpose. So cool stuff there. And of course the back, following along with the same artwork and the band photo. So I think these guys only did one other release after that album. I think maybe Time Bomb, if I remember correctly. I've not listened to that one, but that was maybe a little later in the 90s. That one definitely doesn't get the love that the first 2 albums do. So that's all I've got to share. I do have, we'll have some more stuff coming in during the week and later next week, so might do another video next week. But for those that have been watching, appreciate you, and I hope everyone's doing well out there in wherever you're currently sitting at. Until next time, keep rocking.